great opportunity for us to reach out to the communities in Dimapur, especially arts lovers, music enthusiasts. Today's press conference is primarily to talk about a production that Nagaland Conservatory of Music has been working on, Les Miserables. But before I move on to the content of this conference, I want to introduce our friends here seated with me today. On my left is Tia. He is the academic dean of NCM and also the director of the production. To my right is Joto. He's one of the core team members of the production. And to the extreme right, Mr. Muanangsang Longkamer, the first Naga idol, if many of you might remember. He's joining the team as the production coordinator, consultant. So, talking about the production, what started as a case study of the Department of Voice at Nagaland Conservatory of Music, of various genres of music, Broadway was to be covered in this particular semester. And the voice major students, led by their teachers, took serious time in delving into the philosophies, the artistry of musical productions. And for that particular semester, Les Miserables was selected, and they really took time out to study it into depths. And as a culmination of their study, they put up an excerpts of the production, and which was staged during the Spring Carnival that was held in 2021. Yes, 2021 at NCM campus, to great enthusiasm of the people who were present, and much to their enthusiasm and the inspirations that we received, we decided that we should put some more efforts on trying to produce it so that it becomes educational, not only for our community, but for the Dimapur or for the state of Nagaland as a whole, or for the region as a whole, to give them an access to such productions. As far as the talent is concerned, now NCM itself is a storehouse of talents. There's no dearth of talents. We have sufficient people who are capable of singing and acting. Our main challenge was finances. So we decided, since we're going ahead with the production, why don't we approach some institutions who are directly involved in such activities? And so we approached NEZCC of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. We approached TAFMA under the Government of Nagaland to come forward and support us in this cause. And they very happily and generously agreed to be part of this production, and they have been supporting us along the way. We are very grateful to them about that one. Further, we approach Analia Beauty because this is a stage production, and without proper makeups and props doesn't work. So we approach Analia Beauty, our academy, to support us, and they most willingly came forward to support us. We're grateful to them. We approached DMC for the logistics, giving us the facilities that was under their disposals, and they came forward to that one. And for prints and creatives and designs, we approached Eastern Publication House, and they willingly came forward. And so we are now well prepared and all set for the production that is to be held on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of November at Lorin Hall, Tetsu College. As you were aware, in the entire district of Dimapur, there's not even a single theater that's worthy of staging such productions. But fortunately, of late, Tetsu College has come up with an auditorium, fully air-conditioned, acoustically built, and very conducive for such productions. And we approached them, and they willingly agreed to house us with a minimal rental charges, because not only the production, not only the performances, but the preparation itself will take us at least 3-4 days to set up the stage, the props, and so forth. So it's a week-long engagement at the venue, but they most willingly came forward to accommodate us, and so we're grateful to them about that. This is a massive production and requires more than 50-60 different costumes, and as much as different sets of props, stage props. So we started from scratch. We started by recycling clothes to convert into to acceptable costumes. We had to hunt all the second-hand stores to gather and collect whatever costumes was available that was suitable to the period of this story. And so along the way, in the last 11 months that we've been preparing on this one, we have now substantially collected all the costumes that we require, and all the stage props we worked out to develop it on our own, and it's all set to go. I want to bring it to your attention that we would actually be satisfied by a one-day performance. But you will notice that it's a 3 days repeat performances, which is actually a very rare thing in this part of the world. But we are of the opinion that this kind of production has been rare, and it won't be too easy again to produce something like this in the future. So we want to accommodate maximum number of audience as much as possible. That's why we are extending it into 3 days repeat performances. And another reason being that Tetso, the Lorraine Hall at Tetso College can accommodate at the max 400 persons at one time. So each night can accommodate only 400 persons. So accordingly, the tickets are also very limited. The tickets are reasonably priced, primarily to cover the production cost. Because as you can appreciate, it's a massive production that requires a lot of finances. Besides the support from TAFMA and NEZCC, we have to raise our own funds so that we can cover the remainder of the expenses. So the tickets will cover these expenses. Of course, we welcome donations from well-wishers and our friends. Sound and lights are managed by Audio Garage of Dimapur and MP Lights of Guwahati, respectively. As I've mentioned earlier, Tia, who seated next to me, is the director of the show, assisted by Vinya Sumi, who's not here, but she's working behind the scene. And as mentioned earlier, Moanong Sang, our first ever Naga idol, carries a lot of not only experience in performances, but in managing events such as this. So we have roped him in, and we are grateful that he's part of this team. I want to appeal to the media houses, our dear friends. Along the journey of NCM since its inception 11 years ago, you have been like the pillar and the post for our cause, and we continue to solicit your support. We want to ask for your help to disseminate the informations that such things should be encouraged, especially to the youths. It's not only pop songs or K-pop that's becoming very popular nowadays, but such genres of music have been and will always be a hallmark of performances in this world. So we hope that through your participation, that a wider audience will be reached too, and that they will come to appreciate this kind of production.
Since it's a period drama, musical.
Yes.
So it's what are the musics that will be used during the performance?
It's a sung-through musical. The scenario is a 19th century scenario in France, revolving around some peasants who were prisoners previously and then converted and released, and how they are now trying to transform the society. So it's a sung musical where singing and acting is part of it. The the accompaniment is orchestrations. It's a full orchestra orchestration, and as you know, we don't have orchestras here. We have to now rely on pre-recorded orchestral accompaniment. So it's a 1 hour 30 minutes non-stop performance of music, dance, and drama that of course involves comedy and tragedies and actions as it is in any kind of such productions.
This musical, the original is kind of, the theme is little also has a lot of violence in a bit, in somewhat, and maybe some mature things. So will there be some age limit to accommodating this musical that you'll be having?
Right. I would want to answer it in this way. Actually, it's R-rated, but we had to refine it so that it's consumable by a general audience. Number one, violence may be understood as revolt against evil. So there's no disturbing scenarios. But of course, there are confrontations. If we would say it, there are confrontations against the system. So in many ways, actually, this musical reflects societies that are fighting against corruption, that are fighting against discrimination. So it carries a good ground of moral lessons also. So it's consumable to all kinds of age, of all age group, if I must say. We wanted to do it conventional way. You know that at this age, everything is done online. But you will notice that it's a lot of youngsters who are the ones who are very active in online or in social medias. But a lot of senior citizens are perhaps not so active as you would agree with me. So we decided to go with very conventional way. You will now see hoardings in towns from today, which is a rare thing nowadays. Press conferences like this are also quite rare nowadays, unlike before. So we want to approach it locally, door-to-door approach, if we would say it. Less on digital, but more on the print medias. Of course, not saying that the visual media is of any less importance, but we are putting efforts to now go to door, sale of tickets and so forth. Tickets will be available on requests. The numbers are given here in all our posters. For the first night, we are calling it the Patrons Night. Not necessarily people who are directly involved with us, but we just coined it as a patron night so that families can come together. So the patron ticket is 5,000 rupees that give access to four audience. And on the second and third nights, the tickets are priced at 2,000 rupees each with admit 2 for every ticket. So for the first night, 5,000, admit 4. Second and third night, rupees 2,000, admit 2 each. Pardon? And yes, of course, post-performance every night, we will be laying out snacks for all our guests so that we have more opportunities to interact, especially with the youngsters who are would perhaps be curious to know about this and that, or what happened there, or how does it, things like that. We will have post-performance every evening interactions with the audience, because we want to make it educational as much as possible. That's our main target. Even parents, I'm sure some of them elders, would want to have questions. So we will have crowd interactions, post-performances every evening. Yeah, so thank you once again for your time. Your involvement and participation is very crucial for the success of this program. Not only this program, but perhaps the cause of NCM, what we want to achieve, and how we want to be involved in developing music education in this part of the world. Not only in the state of Nagaland, we have students coming from all over the northeastern region. And actually now we are trying to develop our infrastructure so that we can attract students from Southeast Asia. So these initiatives will perhaps open opportunities and doors for us to give leadership, not only in this region, but in the Southeast Asian countries as well. So your support is highly appreciated, and we thank you once again for your time.